time of the day. What is up, everybody? It is Sunday. It is 8:01 Pacific Standard Time. Our logo runs a little long. Do you know where your cryptids are?
Back there. Right there. He's hiding. He doesn't want to be seen tonight. I see. There we go.
We are off the rails already. 1 minute in, we are already off the rails. We are joined tonight by our research officer.
And number one fan.
She got upgraded. We are, I believe this is the final in the Haunted House series for the month. Next month is Exorcisms and Poltergeist for the month of October. All October long. Tonight we are talking about the Amityville Horror House, Season 4, Episode 15, creeping closer to the end of the season. So go ahead, Tammy. Stage is yours.
Okay, in this episode, we are going to visit a suburban village on the south shore of Long Island in New York. The home we are going to learn about is a 5-bedroom Dutch colonial revival home on a canal off of Long Island Sound. It is located at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amity. Yet, you guessed it, we are talking about the Amityville Horror House, a real-life story that was turned into a book and a movie. This is the story of Ronald DeFeo Jr. He was the son of an abusive father, Ronald DeFeo Sr., a passive mother named Louise. Ronald Jr. was known as Butch by his friends and family and was the oldest of 5 children. He was the victim of a troubled childhood, which led him to substance abuse. Several pieces of research have said that he was a user of LSD and heroin. He would get mad at his dad and he'd lash out at him. Once he even threatened his life with a gun. 23-year-old Ronald had a hard time holding down a job. This made his parents offer to let him live at home and give him an allowance to live on.
That kind of sounds
In the
kind of
early
nice.
morning,
Living at home,
What?
having an allowance.
That's the big
Yeah.
mistake right there.
Yeah. Okay. In the early morning hours of November 13th, 1974, Ronald took a .35 caliber Marlin rifle and fatally shot every member of his family. He claims the voices in his head told him to kill them. He murdered Ronald Sr. and Louise, his 2 sisters, 18-year-old Dawn and 13-year-old Allison, along with his 2 young brothers, 12-year-old Mark and 9-year-old John. At the time of the murders, Butch was working with his father at Verdante Carl Buick. His dad was the service manager at the car dealership, and Butch was his subordinate. The strained relationship got worse as they worked together, causing even more turmoil between the father and son. Well, that's probably one of the reasons. Butch went to work that day, and after he stopped in at the local pub, he tried calling home and complained to everyone in the bar, but his family wasn't answering. So he left to go home around 6 p.m. He came back shortly after and yelled to the patrons, "You gotta help me! I think my mother and father have been shot." One source stated that the group of bar patrons loaded up in Butch's car and headed over to go see what was up and call the police. The bodies were still all in their beds with their pajamas on. They were all face down with their hands above their heads. It said in one article that no one heard anything at all. But another story said a neighbor heard the family dog start barking around 3 a.m. There were no signs of a struggle in the home. Another source said that Butch accompanied the police to the home. Either way, Ronald DeFeo Jr. was arrested by Suffolk County Police on November 14, 1974, after confessing to the murders. He said that he had staged the discovery of the family's bodies. He gave several different alibis and stories about what happened. The first one was that he was at the bar, so he couldn't have been there for the killings. The second one was, well, a mob hitman named Louis Fellini did it, and he killed him and forced Butch to watch. He finally confessed, saying that the voices from the house turned him into a killer. Once I started, I just couldn't stop.
Okay, well, now we're going to throw one little thing in while we're paused. So we now have another case where everybody's been taken out one at a time without anybody else waking up.
I was just going to say that.
But instead of an axe going room to room,
It's a
now
gun.
it's a gun. So this would be a question of what is going on. That
Did he have a silencer?
I don't think he did. I think it was just
He
the
had to have
rifle.
had something. But yeah, how could you not? The
I
first
don't-
shot, you'd be able to hear it.
Okay, so we got a 35 caliber Marlin rifle. So I mean, I think that we're talking a hunting rifle.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I mean, it's 1974, I believe, a Marlin rifle. If anybody in the audience knows the exact, I think a 35 caliber Marlin is, I think it's a hunting rifle. So it's going to be loud. It's going to have some power to it, I believe. I looked that up while Tammy continues.
Well, you know, my question is, if the dog heard it, why didn't anybody else hear it? He was barking.
Exactly.
Maybe they
Woke
thought
up
it was
the
a
neighbors.
backfire. Maybe a car backfire? But multiple times? Yeah. I don't.
But how did nobody wake
Yeah.
up in the house?
Maybe it's just the
I
kids
don't know.
were
Maybe
too
it was that
frightened.
hot chocolate again.
Okay, a Marlin Model 336 is a lever-action rifle that has been in production since 1948. It is one of the most popular models, chambered in .35 Remington, which is known for its effectiveness in hunting medium to large game. So this is not just like an AR-15 9mm. This is medium to large game. Barrel length is typically 20 inches. Magazine capacity is 6-shot tubular magazine, weighs 7 pounds. American black walnut stock.
Wow.
The Marlin 336 has been a rich history and has been a staple in the American hunting community. So, I mean, this is a lever action. I mean, Juliet says 35 Remington. I mean, yeah, this is medium to big game. So this is going to be putting out some noise.
Yeah. Oh. Maybe they drugged the kids. Maybe drugged his.
It's that special hot chocolate from last week.
Yeah.
There's got to be something because, I mean, I'm looking at pictures of this gun and, I mean, it's a lever action. I mean, my uncle used to have one and I got to fire it. It's a serious, Juliet Bear. Yes, exactly. Thank you. I lost my train of thought. It's like I did last night in the tour.
Right?
Anyways, back to the Amityville Horror. We'll talk about the tour towards the end of the show. Off the rails, chaos ensues. Hoorah. Go ahead, Tammy. Take it away.
Okay, according to A&E True Crime Stories, some journalists and Amityville natives who followed the case for decades, DeFeo's murderous rampage was rooted in years of conflict with his father, as well as jealousy towards his siblings, whom he believed the parents doted on more than him. DeFeo was also possibly motivated by greed, thinking he would inherit the parents' assets if the entire family was dead. This was a theory from Paula Uruburu, a Hofstra University professor emeritus who lived in Amityville as a teen and was friends with the sister Dawn DeFeo. She says, I think his primary motive was financial, but I believe he was also motivated by his growing anger and hatred for his father, and he was probably resentful of the attention that Dawn and the little ones got.
Well, you would think, I mean, they're a lot younger than he is. They're going to need more attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially those two little boys.
Yeah, the 12 and 9.
Says the trial discussed the deteriorating relationship between Butch and his parents, as well as the fact that he was interrogated for 30 hours with no food and no sleep before he confessed. His lawyers claim that he suffered from a mental break during the episode and was not competent. He also tried to blame his sister Dawn for the whole thing, claiming she killed the family and he killed her in a fight over the rifle. DeFeo was found guilty of 6 counts of second-degree murder and was sentenced to 6 consecutive life terms in prison. He remained incarcerated until his death in 2021. A year after the murders, a new family moved into the home. George and Kathy married July of 1975 and each had their own homes, but they wanted to start fresh with the new property. Kathy had 3 children from a previous marriage, Daniel 9, Christopher 7, and Melissa, also known as Missy, who was age 5. They also owned a crossbreed Malamute Labrador dog named Harry. The real estate agent told the couple about the murders, but they didn't think it would be a problem. The Lutz family would buy the house and move in December 18, 1975. They had a priest come to bless the house, and allegedly he heard a voice scream, "Get out." He told the Lutzes to never sleep in that particular room of the house. George and Kathy Lutz bought the home for $80,000. They felt they were getting a 4,000 square foot house for such a price. It even included most of the DeFeo furniture, since it was included for the small price of $400. However, their joy would be short-lived as they moved out just 28 days later because of the terrifying happenings in the house. The Lutzes claimed that green slime would seep down the walls. Windows would spontaneously shatter. A ghost boy would peer out of a doorway, and Mrs. Lutz would be seen levitating above her bed. Eyes would soon be peering into the house from outside, and foul odors would be noticed. George claimed that every morning he would be awakened at 3:15, the same time that he shot his family. They were apparently cold spots experienced in the house. Other paranormal activity included a nearby garage door opening and closing, an invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen, a pig-like creature with red eyes staring down at George and his son Daniel from a window, George waking up to his wife Kathy levitating on their bed, and then apparently Daniel and Christopher, the 2 sons, also levitated from their beds. So only 4 weeks after moving in, the family fled the house on January 14th, 1976.
Damn,
Someone from the news, isn't that crazy stuff? So someone from the news heard about it, and so they decided to call Ed and Lorraine Warren. And they wanted to meet the Lutz family about the house, but the family did not want to go back. So when it was time to get the keys to the house, they had to go meet George at a local pizza parlor because he said, "I am not going back there. Here's the keys. And while you're there, get the deed out of my desk. And then he would not give them any details about the experiences that they had. So Ed and Lorraine brought a camera crew with them while they explored the home. Ed would say that the house reeked of death. He experienced supernatural events in the basement. I felt as though I was underneath a waterfall. That's how terrific the pressure was on my head and shoulders, pushing me down to the floor, he recalled. Then I felt what I could only describe as hundreds of pinpoints of electricity hitting my body, as though someone had taken a hot towel and dropped it over my face. I couldn't breathe. The couple ultimately concluded that the house was haunted by diabolical forces.
All right. We do have a comment. Heck no, I would not want the furniture. Problem with that house going for that amount of money is it was too good to be true. Let's take the furniture, the house, it's already furnished. If you are a young family, that's kind of stuff that, hey, I don't have to spend all this extra money on things. It's kind of a steal, you got your cold spots or, your air conditioning in the summertime and cold spots in the wintertime. And, the doors open and close by themselves, Star Trek, it's just all, it's all supplied by the spirits. They're giving you, great house, and they wake you up at 3:15. So, on a high point, you got to be awake and, go to work during the day, Spirits are waking you up at 3:15. Make sure you're out the door. All you got to do is make some coffee for you, and you're good to go.
Yeah, no way all the way around. Screw the furniture. I don't care if I'm a young family on a budget or whatnot. The furniture's got to go. Yeah, if you know about murders in that house, absolutely not. Furniture's out the door. I'll put it in a pile and burn this stuff.
Yeah, the real estate agent told them about the murders, and they're like, "Oh, that's okay. We'll take the house anyway. It's fine. It's not going to bother us."
Right. So you already knew what you're getting into, but you can only make it 28 days? Yeah.
I probably wouldn't make it one.
Yeah, I think we make it a few days, if not a week or so. Right, Darren?
I don't know, man. This housing market, I just look at it and go, tell you what, you keep that territory over there. That room is yours. Do with it what you want. You want the walls to bleed? Go for it. You want to swarm of flies? Keep it in that room. Housing market's bad, man. I got to scroll back up. Jordan bought the house for $80,000. $80,000. Today's market, that's a steal.
Right.
Of course, we're talking 75.
Yeah, I could probably live there for that.
I would get along with the spirits.
Say, you can have this room all to yourself. Leave me alone in the rest of the house.
All right, Mr. Demon, this room is yours. Do what you want in here. I'll throw some teddy bears or neighborhood kids in for you.
We'll board it up. Concrete it up. Paint over it.
You want the wall painted? We'll do that too.
This 4-bedroom house became a 3-bedroom house.
We're okay with that as long as it stays over there.
That's right.
Well, you can wake me up at 3:15 in the morning. That's all right. Go ahead, wake me up. I'm working day shift. Wake me up.
No. I need that extra hour of sleep. Come on. I'm getting old.
Just go to sleep earlier.
I need to sleep. I already do that throughout the day after I get home from work, okay?
Technically speaking, if you're levitating off the beds and stuff, that might help out your back if you got back issues. Like being at a chiropractor.
That's a thought.
I was going to say, maybe more comfortable than a regular bed.
Yeah, you never know. There's no pressure on you. You're just kind of floating, Maybe it'll be nice and turn you like a rotisserie chicken.
It'd be like sleeping on a cloud.
Julie says that's what I was thinking. See, they were trying to find good things out of bad things. Make the demons work for you.
Exactly.
They
All
can
right,
pay
that's
us.
what we've totally taken Tammy's train of thought and just thrown it out the window.
There we go. So we're back on it.
We're
That's
only
okay.
20
Apparently,
minutes
this doesn't
in.
seem like it's very long. Okay, so the Lutzes had many people question their legitimacy. It did help that the Warrens' investigation did give some credence to their claims. George and Kathy agreed to take and pass a lie detector test. They were subject to legal and financial issues. This caused skeptics to think that this gave them a motive to create a great story to sell to the public. The Lutzes reportedly submitted 45 hours of audio recordings to the author Jay Anson, who used them to create the Amityville Horror novel. And then the movie starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder followed 2 years later.
Good movie, by the way. By the way.
I still haven't seen any of.
I read the book in Montana when I was actually, when I first got there. Our rooms were in the basement till they can get the dorm rooms up and running. So I ended up reading The Shining and the Amityville Horror novel at, 2 o'clock in the morning in the basement of a hotel in the middle of the mountains at the tail end of winter.
That's cool. I haven't read the book. Well, I read The Shining and I've seen The Shining movie, but I haven't seen any of these other movies that we've talked about at all.
Yeah, I've not seen the Amityville Horror movie, and I don't do reading, so screw that. Seen The Shining multiple times.
I thought that was exciting because I saw the lodge.
Oh,
Well, the Mount Hood one.
Yeah, the Timberline.
Timberline, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, back to the story. Enough train wrecking tonight.
Come on, we're getting warmed up. We
are getting warmed up.
In 1979, the Lutz's former lawyer, William Weber, who fell out with them over many issues, claimed he, George, and Kathy came up with the horror story over many bottles of wine. Their son, Christopher, did recall hearing voices and seeing shadowy figures inside the house. He went on to say that the media depictions are false. He says that the book written by Anson makes him realize why the public may think it's a hoax. And Kathy and George Lutz had 2 more children together, but they divorced in 1988. They died in 2004 and 2006, respectively. According to the Phoenix New Times, George and his stepsons had legal battles over the use of family images in the Amityville entertainment projects. Most notably, he sued Christopher over the Amityville trademark and its use in a domain name in 2003. They later settled the lawsuit. So I guess he sued his stepson. It says other owners had issues related. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, well, that kind of leads in a little bit of a skeptic's corner of the question that we can answer in the last 10 would be, did they make it up? Because if they're we're fighting over money, then it might be.
But then
It
you
might
got,
be.
what, 45 hours of audio?
Yeah, 45
to write
hours
a book?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. We'll save it for a little later.
Yeah, we'll save it.
Okay. It says other owners had issues related to the house, whether it be hauntings or people in the public. The Cromartie family, which bought the foreclosed house at 112 Ocean Avenue after the Lutzes, were so harassed by the Amityville Horror fans and vandals, people ringing the doorbell at all hours asking for Ronald DeFeo. They stole roof shingles and ripped out chunks of the lawn, and that made them, want to move out because they were being harassed by the public.
Well, that kind of
everybody
goes
wanted
back.
a piece of that Amityville.
It kind of goes back to the Vasilla axe house. You know, if
Yeah.
you're ripping enough shingles to the house, I mean, how somebody's living there. I'm going to go rip up his.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Goonies house in Astoria. People are always going up and wanting.
Yeah, the Goonies house. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you live in any kind of quote unquote famous location, house, be it, you're gonna have those people. You gotta just learn how to deal with it and set guidelines and boundaries.
Yep.
Yeah, or sit outside and sell tickets. Let them come in. Give them a cookie.
Yeah, make some money off it. Why not?
$50.
Everybody else
and
is.
have a cookie.
I mean, every other house we've talked about so far is a bed and breakfast.
Don't give them any ideas.
Go ahead, Tammy. We got second set of people.
Okay. Peter and Janine O'Neill, the next set of owners, they lived in a house for a decade and, according to the listing agent, had no strange experiences. And so it sounds like the first one only had problems with the public. The second one didn't have any experiences at all.
So then it goes
it
back
does make
to
you wonder if it's real or not.
if it is a hoax or not. Yeah.
Yep.
So the Amityville House, now with a different house number to discourage horror fans, has been sold at least 4 times since the murders, and none of the newer owners have reported seeing any psychic phenomena. It sold in 2016 for $850,000. The house where the movie was filmed in 1979 has been completely renovated and is currently for sale for almost $1.7 million.
So the original house is cheaper than the movie house. And how much you want to bet that somebody's going to buy the movie house and try to buy? I mean, the house just sold in 2016. Not a bed and breakfast, by the way, people. It's not a bed and breakfast. It is a private domain. But the movie house is for sale. How much you want to bet one of these people, not mentioning any names, no names at all, current ticker tape, or Matt Rife, would buy that and then just charge insane amount of money?
Yeah.
You know,
Don't
I
give him any, don't give him any, whatever.
well, the thing
I'm
is,
looking
I've seen a lot of paranormal investigators take to the internet and talk about the Warren Occult Museum and how they think this is totally disrespectful, and the fact that it's $2,000 a night. You can only videotape, I think it's like 4 hours, and then all your footage has to be turned over to Matt Rife and his partner to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, and they will edit your final stuff.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
Absolutely not.
But the thing is, if you're buying the movie house, nothing happened at the movie house. It's just a movie house. It's like the Goonies house. There was no treasure at the Goonies house. Let me see what other houses are out there that are for sale that people have filmed at. Like the Short Circuit house. There was not really a robot there. I mean, the people that are redoing it to make it look like the movie. The Goonies house, he's trying to refurbish it to make it look like the movie to be a bed and breakfast. But the guy's really nice. So. But, there's lots of movie houses out there. Like, I know that a certain somebody on the bottom of the screen Julie says, "Are you sure?" Yes, yes. The original house that everything happened is a private residence. Um, it is not a bed and breakfast. I'm sure the local HOA has told them, no, don't make this a bed and breakfast. The house where the movie Poltergeist was filmed is actually on the market, because I know a certain someone on the bottom of the screen that's going across who did an investigation there. Of course,
At the rate that they're turning these houses over, if they're going off of the Ed and Lorraine Museum notes and archives and whatnot, every location that Ed and Lorraine went to, they could eventually turn into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's over 10,000 bed and breakfasts.
hey, it's a booming business.
Paranormal sells.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, our paranormal is kind of a little starting out slow this tour around, but
Yeah, that's here or there. This is, yeah.
I mean, hey, if we can have a booming business, I mean, yeah, we talked about it, but I mean, would we really open up a bed and breakfast in a haunted location that was somebody's home? No, we wouldn't. There's fantasy land and reality and what we really do, and I believe the King and I, we'd be a little bit more respectful towards the place and be like, you know what, this was somebody's home, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
If it used to be an old hotel, let's go there. Such as a Klondike, which is being renovated. It was a hotel, it's being renovated to become a hotel again, a bed and breakfast. Then by all means.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, that's what the purpose of that location is for. Not to just take some house on BFE that had paranormal activity and turn it into a B.
Or a movie about paranormal activity.
Yeah.
Like the Poltergeist house. Nothing happened there. It was a filming location. The filming location for the Amityville House. It's not the real house. It's a location is going for a Mill 7. Nothing happened there. It was a movie. It'll probably be a bed and breakfast. Come stay at the Lutz's movie house. Why would you want to go to a movie house and stay? I mean, if you really enjoyed that movie, okay? If you really enjoyed the movie, like the Goonies house, but the guy's doing it in a right way. He's redoing it. He's nice with everybody. He's got a set of rules. Short Circuit House, same thing. I mean, they open it up for the fans, but I don't think the Short Circuit House is a bed and breakfast. I think that's private residence where they allow you to come out to the fence and take pictures.
Yeah,
it's not It's not an indoor. I think the Goonies house right now, while they're redoing everything, I believe that's currently the same deal that you can go up to the gate. You'll do the truffle shuffle back and forth, but you're not allowed to come in yet, I believe.
Right. I mean, yeah, you hear more about the Goonie house than you do the Short Circuit House right now.
Yeah, and it's just down the road.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you really enjoyed the movie of Amityville Horror, then by all means, pull together 1.7 and go buy that house where nothing happened.
You could spend half of that and get the actual house.
Exactly. Which apparently has no ghosts and nothing going on. Mm-hmm. But if you're a boater, you have a boathouse. Go ahead.
I'm still looking forward. I'm looking forward to Halloween to find out who buys the Conjuring house.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to update on that, huh?
Yeah, we might have to have an update on November 2nd about the Conjuring house. I bet you it's going to be one of the bigger paranormal personalities.
Dumbass celebrity.
Yeah.
Mainly that jackass at the bottom of the screen.
It's either going to be him or Matt Rife. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. You know, it's going to come down to one of the two.
Who's your money on?
Matt Rife. Because
same here.
So-and-so down on the bottom of the screen doesn't like flying because, he believes that he's going to die in a plane crash. That's why all the shows are only on the West Coast and within driving distance of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So, that limits you. That limits you exactly where you can go if you can only do driving distance.
Yeah.
Conjuring House is a little bit more Appalachia, East Coast. It's a bit of a drive.
Yeah, but if you want to make it a drive, you got it.
He's got the money.
Yeah.
We can't let Matt Rife have everything. Matt Rife can't own everything. But the Conjuring House would probably go for, he'd start charging people, okay, everyone, that's going to be $3,000 a night. You can videotape and do everything else, but that's going to cost you another $800 to do it. And then we're going to go through all your footage and make sure you got all the good stuff.
The only way he can get his money back for purchasing the house.
Yeah, I don't know. Some places should not be bed and breakfasts. Again, this house that we're talking about, Amityville, is not. Surprise, surprise.
And let's hope they keep it that way.
Well, I don't think the neighborhood would allow a bed and breakfast. It's a very fine, upstanding neighborhood.
Oh. Oh, it's got an HOA and all that shit?
Yeah, they've got, it's an old-time neighborhood where, it's richy, and they probably don't want a bed and breakfast. People that bought the house, they changed the number, and they took out those windows up next to the chimney, and they changed how it looks just so people would quit coming. So whoever owns it now or before, they did everything they could to take the heat off of it. Anyway, Tammy, go ahead. Skeptics and the Warrens.
Okay. The haunting story led to a best-selling book and movie franchise, but skeptics like Robert Bartholomew believe it was a hoax. The Amityville myth persists in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary, says Bartholomew. It's starkly obvious that it's a hoax, but people still want to believe. And then Weber told the Lutzes that a neighbor's cat would peer into the DeFeo's window at night. That became the red-eyed pig. Ronald DeFeo's father once had smacked his mother while she held a plate of red sauce spaghetti. And that became the mysterious red goo on the wall that morphed into green slime bubbling from pee holes. He goes, we took real-life incidents and transposed them, said Weber in 1988, and he was the lawyer. In other words, it was a hoax. And then, okay, so this conversation is with Ed and Lorraine's son-in-law. Since Ed used to not want to talk very much about it because he said the more recognition you give it, the more likely something would happen. It depends on the entity too, that might be at the house. It may lay dormant for years. So there could possibly still be something going on. It was just laying dormant.
Well, this is also Tony Spera talking, who just let Ryan Buell take Annabelle on a East Coast journey along with the Conjuring mirror. So, Tony Spera is supposed to be, was the guy that was in charge of the museum, even though it should have really gone to the grandson who would have taken him better care of it. Mm-hmm. I think we lost James.
Uh-oh.
He's back. We're just shifting positions.
What happened there?
I don't know. But I don't know. That entire little bit from Tony there, that we don't talk about the spirits so it doesn't flare up. It might lay dormant. We'll hit a little bit there.
Well, I've got more of Tony's words.
All right. We'll come back to Tony. That'll definitely be Skeptic's Corner.
Yeah, because he also goes on to say there could possibly, and I'm emphasizing the word possibly, still be something dormant in that structure that could reignite with either recognition or somebody doing rituals in the house, incantations, or a family that was susceptible to hauntings. In other words, a family that's weak-willed or someone in the house that's weak-willed. So in other words, I can move into a house, I can make it haunted. I can make the house haunted by dabbling in occult practices, by doing witchcraft, incantations, satanic rituals, or using a Ouija board in the house. When you do things like that, you're inviting things into your life. And you're inviting the unknown in. DeFeo was into Satanism. And this was all said by Tony Sparrett, who now leads the Warrens' New England Society of Psychic Research. He had a little room they called the Red Room because it was painted red. And there's a little cubby hole that he kept his satanic artifacts in there. There were things happening in the home, and this is what he told the Post. Something was going on in that house that was nefarious, and we believe it could have been, or we believe it was, Ronald DeFeo Jr. doing satanic rituals. And now it's time for skeptics.
We got 20 minutes left on the clock. We could tear a lot of this down in 20.
What the? I got shit falling on me from behind. Oh, God almighty. Where to begin on this?
Well, let's go with Tony Spera and everything he says. So, we go back a little bit, and Ed and Lorraine, they snapped one picture of a ghost child in one of the upstairs hallways, peering out of the bedroom. So, I mean, we do have a picture that is quite eerie of a phantom child staring out a bedroom window.
It looks so real.
It does look real.
You could totally see that as a little boy.
Well, the thing is, I've always had faith in Ed and Lorraine Warren. The real stories. I mean, the Conjuring movies are fun and everything, but, you know, there's the case files and everything else they've ever done. I have faith in their research. Tony Spera, I just kind of feel like everything that was put out there by the Warrens, leave everything in the museum, don't touch it, don't move it. You know, you've got the Conjuring mirror and Annabelle in the same room facing each other, which mirrors are bad anyway. So you got a demonic doll staring into a mirror on tour. But we're in Skeptic's Corner, so if Ed does not want to talk about this case very much, the quote, Ed used to not want to talk about it very much, because he said the more recognition you give to it, the more likely something would happen. Let's take that and switch it. So what if we're just basically saying, we did the investigation, we got a weird photo, and we feel that it was a hoax? Then how would you play that off if you're a famous investigator? Julianne says that was part of the team. Possible. I mean, that's the thing is, if we're hoaxing it, and it's coming out, and you as an investigator have a little bit of morals and integrity, and you know it's a hoax, and you know that the family's just making buttloads of money when they were barely getting by beforehand, then you just go, oh, well, you know, we don't want to talk about it. Like the Tiger Demon House. What if James and I just turn around one day and start saying, well, you know what, we're not going to talk about the Tiger Demon House, because sometimes if you just don't talk about it, you don't give it power. So we hit it, we glaze over it, and then we dismiss it to, we're just not going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're upfront and honest that the girlfriend at the time that was living in the house was doing black magic. She had invited things into the house. We could quite easily just say, yeah, what we found that out. She did some bad things. We could write it off as a hoax and glaze it.
Yeah, well, again, you know, they didn't realize we had audio recorder sitting right next to him when she was talking about it while we were outside.
Yeah, I know they broke up shortly after the investigation. He kicked her out. The neighborhood cat becoming the red-eyed pig. I can see it.
That's Peeping Tom, too.
Yeah. Red sauce spaghetti. Staining the walls, and you just change it. All right, take it, James.
Fuck. I don't know what to say, man. I was, just hearing about it just led me to believe it. Anything that came out of that house was factual, true. And now, reading and hearing all this, I am kind of on the inkling that it is more of a hoax just to get attention. And I find it hard that one family had all these issues in 28 days, and then you've had the house sold multiple times since, and nothing was experienced by either family. I mean, if there's gonna be, I get that spirits and whatnot can lay dormant, and something could happen if you do, renovations or this or that in the house, but in my experience so far, I mean, if there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
Exactly.
And this, to me, is leaning more towards the hoax side due to the fact that multiple families have been in that house with no activity whatsoever.
Julie says the child looks like one of the investigators. So that's the other thing. You underdevelop the film, you overdevelop the film. I mean, there's probably ways you could get around making someone peering out a window look creepy. The fact that the Lutzes were fighting over the money issues and the trademark. And by the way, there's been a lot of movies. You look up Amityville Horror on Amazon.
There is a roughly 25 movies for films on the Amityville. Yeah. I was actually just looking at all those films because I was thinking about going ahead and starting watching it. I knew there was 2 or 3, but I did not realize. I'm looking at this, I'm like, holy shit, I'm not going to spend a lifetime watching these movies.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, you would only need to watch the original with Josh Brolin, and then they did do one with Ryan Reynolds back in early 2000s. That's about the same scenario.
The remake.
Yeah, the remake with Ryan Reynolds. And then there's the string of the sequels that have nothing to do with the original family and go off in such random directions where it's just, family moves in, demon wakes up, things go wrong, people leave again. It just repeats the formula over and over and over and over. I know there was original Amityville, then there was Amityville 2.
The Possession.
With Possession with Diane Franklin. And it was an all-star cast, but it really didn't have much to do with the real story. It was just continuation. And there's
you got Amityville 3D, Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes. Oh my god, you could just go down this list and
the 2005 Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. Then you got the Amityville Horror 1979 original.
Right.
You got Amityville Where the Echo Lives 2024. God, I mean,
yeah, it's things that Hollywood makes up just to
yeah. So you
make,
can start
make, yeah, you know.
with 79, Amityville Horror. Amityville 2, The Possession, 1982, which is supposed to talk about. It's supposed to be the prequel to the original film. The Montelli family moves into a new home and is soon targeted by demonic forces that possess Sonny, the oldest child. Picked up the pace from the original, praise was given to its special effects and the use of tension. The film was an adaptation of Murder in Amityville, so it's supposed to be the prequel to everything on how it goes.
Oh, I hate the prequels.
Yeah, because it really is nothing. It's just talking about the fail ahead of time. Amityville 3D, 1983. Basically just, it's not technically a direct sequel, but it's still canon. Which doesn't make any sense. Then you've got Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes in 89.
Then you got
It doesn't pick up on the third. It just sounds like it's just a woman who purchases a possessed lamp from the Amityville house. Oh my God. So now we're not even talking about the house. We're talking about, it was a lamp in the house that she bought and took home. So Amityville 4 is just about the damn lamp.
We're getting into stuff like 80s movies on TV.
Amityville Curse, 1990. Set in the town of Amityville, follows a couple who moves into a house that's haunted by an evil spirit linked to murder. Continuing the Amityville Horror possessed objects trend. So it's basically just most of these knockoffs are
some that's related to the house, but not the house itself.
Yeah, it's not the house itself. Then you got Amityville, It's About Time, 1992. It's an architect who brings home a possessed clock from the Amityville house. So a clock that's possessed. Amityville, A New Generation, 1993. The mythos of the Amityville films were stretched to their limit in a straight-to-video installment. Amityville, A New Generation concerns a man who is the son of the murderer from Amityville, who is gifted with a possessed mirror from the notorious Amityville house. So it's the son of the guy who killed everybody with the mirror. Ooh. See, James, I'm saving you time.
Saving me time?
I'm saving you time from watching all this. So now we already know what possessed objects there are.
Thank you.
Amityville Dollhouse, 1996. I think
that one sounds a little intriguing, just because it's saying dollhouse.
Amityville Dollhouse is one of the few canon films that have no basis in the original story whatsoever.
Oh, no way.
As such, the movie fails to live up to even straight-to-video predecessors. It's an erased-within plot, adds nothing to larger mythology. So, it's the family discovers a dollhouse replica of the notorious Amityville Horror, and it is possessed by the demons in a dollhouse that was never in the house. Then we have the Amityville Horror, 2005, with Ryan Reynolds. It's just a retelling of it. Yeah. Oop. Amityville, The Awakening, 2017. Hopefully it has some... the film follows a teen living in the legendary Amityville house who begins to suspect that her brother is a vessel for demonic evil. So now we're back in the house, but it's not anything to do with anybody else. Then we have the Amityville Murders, 2018. Direct prequel to the first movie, set in 1974. The movie chronicles the last days of the DeFeo family before they are brutally murdered by Ronald DeFeo Jr. This was a movie that Diane Franklin, who was the daughter in 2, came back and played the mother of Ronald DeFeo in this movie. Just making a bit of a roundabout. Would be good? I don't know. And that was it. That was the last Amityville house. So some of these are direct to video. makes you think.
All right, I'll just watch the first one.
Yeah, just watch the first one. Everything else is a haunted object.
Damn.
A dollhouse that has nothing to do with said house. It just looks like said house, and it's possessed by the demons because the demons went, ooh, a dollhouse. It looks just like our house, and we're going to go over there. Tammy, you want to throw in your 2 cents?
The Ryan Reynolds one sounds really good. You know, it would be Deadpool.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear you, Tammy.
Oh, yeah, I'm on my phone now. When my computer died. And I think the Ryan Reynolds one sounds like it could be kind of funny. I like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, if you're going to watch any 2 Amityville movies, watch the original with Josh Brolin, and then watch the Ryan Reynolds version, because that way you're kind of getting Deadpool and Cable in 2 separate horror movies.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you're getting the father of Cable and Deadpool in 2 different horror movies.
But I'm a James and Josh Brolin fan, so that would be a cool one to watch. So I think it could definitely be a hoax. They were all drinking and coming up with all kinds of stuff to help their money problems. I don't know. I should probably watch some movies. But it was fun reading up on all this.
Yeah, we're having a real hard time hearing you, Tammy. Julie says, by the way, Ryan Reynolds was okay. He was hacking up wood all sweaty and shirtless because, face it, you had to sell the movie somehow.
Well, that would work.
But, yeah. So was it a hoax? Was it real? Did they really survive 28 days? Or was the mortgage coming due and they didn't have the money?
I think that'd be it.
They got it before the first payment was due.
First payment's coming up due in 28 days. Okay, everybody, we're just leaving. Leave everything. It's a ghost. It's a demon. Run, run, run. Now we have lots of money, and then we're going to just take off, and now we're going to fight each other about it. So, Julie says, money.
Yep.
So, is it a good story that you're taking an incident that happened with the DeFeos, and then you're moving it on to the other family? Yeah, it's a possibility they saw an opportunity and they went with it. Mm-hmm. So absolutely. We're going to leave you with that one. As always, it is up to you, the viewer, to decide hoax, reality, demons, ghosts, angels, departed. It's up to you in the end of the day. So, as always, I'm going to say goodbye.
And as always, keep your cryptids close and tight and hug them all night. See you until next week.
See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.